All right, guys, welcome to the 1% Club podcast. Today I've got James McShane, owner of Chapter 1 Fitness. I'm so glad to have you here, man. Thanks for coming out to Vegas.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Yeah, can you tell everyone how to reach you on Instagram right now?
Yeah, so you could go on the Chapter 1 Instagram page, or I have my current fitness page with my current LLC, Elite Level Strength and Fitness, where I train clients anywhere from basic health and wellness to competitive powerlifters, and that one is my JM2 Elite Level. No, a JM2_elite_level.
Awesome. And James, you're building out a new Chapter 1 Fitness right now, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit of what actually got you into health and fitness?
Yeah, so in the past, I came from a collegiate baseball background and actually went to school for criminal justice. Was not interested at all in doing anything in this world with, health and wellness. But going through all the years of baseball, and especially in college, when I got done, the softball coach actually asked me to be their hitting coach for a year. And when I did that, the current strength and conditioning coach was like, hey, since you're here, you just kind of want to help me out. And at the time I was working construction. I had already finished up school, had no clue what I wanted to do with my life. I'm a 21-year-old kid. And so I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? I'll kind of learn to do a little bit. And once I started doing that, and it just, boom, it clicked. I was like, this is what I want to do. Got into that, got myself a training job at Bally Total Fitness, where I decided, let me train basic people as athletes, and realized that that's not how this world works at first. Yeah. So, it was a lot of a learning curve along the way. And started getting a lot of certifications, started doing a lot of research and learning a lot about this world. And so I worked at Bally's for a number of years into 24-hour fitness. From there, moved out to Arizona, worked at Lifetime for 5-6 years.
Okay.
Trainer there, then assistant manager. And what I loved about the role they gave me was my job was to train the trainers. I loved it. Okay. Absolutely loved it. So business, programming, client retention, I absolutely love that. And then I realized it was time that this is time for me to do something on my own. So started my own business, started renting space out of a private facility, and I've been running my own business ever since. And I am one that I get bored. So when I'm continuously doing the same thing and I love what I do, it gets to a point where I was like, cool, what's the next step? What's the next step? I don't like being comfortable. Yeah. Even with my training, I'm like, this is getting boring. I want something new. I want something harder. Give me something more challenging. And so for a long time, my clients have always been pushing me, open your own spot, open your own spot, open your own spot. Was looking to do it. COVID happened. Stuff kind of hit the fan with that. So just stayed with what I was doing, but the time came along and I realized it's time for me to take that next step. So it's been about a year, almost over a year now, trying to find a location. That's awesome. I didn't realize how challenging it was trying to find a location and get approved as a private facility. We try to explain to a lot of landlords, like, hey, I'm not an open gym. We're not a CrossFit facility making a lot of noise or, Orange Theory screaming. Like landlords did not want that stuff. And so,
it's the same thing in Las Vegas too.
Yeah.
So it's like, explain to them, like, what's the difference between a gym versus, performance training facility or like human performance center.
Right.
So it takes that gym stigma out of it, because even though they're coming to a gym, they're really coming to your private brand, that you want to keep upscale. That leads me to a question. I think that, people don't always know the differences. What's the difference between working in corporate fitness and then being able to provide your clients in the private sector exactly what you want to give them?
Working in corporate fitness, the difference to me was you're doing what the corporation wants, and it became all about the dollar, and it started getting not to be fun anymore. And so I always said the reason it's called personal training is stuff is personal. And so when it becomes push for money, clients don't get the same satisfaction. Clients read it on you that you're trying to push them for more money. And hey, can we run a payment, 3 days early? No, you can't run a payment 3 days early. Like, are you kidding me? And so it just, with the corporations, you know, I always say that getting into training, I love that I did it. I learned what to do. I learned how to run a business. I learned how to talk to members. I learned how to talk to people on the gym floor. I learned what to do, and I learned exactly what not to do. And so starting up my own business, you know, I tried to do everything in my power what I was not doing at the corporate gyms, because I was tired of it just always being about the dollar. You know, to me, the dollars will come, and I didn't get into the training world to be a multimillionaire. I got into it because I love what I do. I love seeing the results client gets. I love seeing their lives change outside of the gym. You know, when a client comes running up to me and says, "Oh my God, I was able to, you know, pick up this tire at my house, and my wife, was asking me, do I need help?" And next thing you know, boom, there they are picking up a tire. And they're like, you know, I couldn't have done that 6 months ago. You know, and so stuff like that, I absolutely love it. And I get to go to work every day wearing gym clothes. Can't complain, you know. And so that's the biggest thing that I took from it. You know, I learned a lot, and I would, if I were to go back, I would do the exact same thing. Because again, it really taught me what not to do. And that's the biggest thing.
I think everyone's in such a rush. And I was going through that myself, in such a rush. So you kind of miss foundational things that I think are really important. And, and for me, you know, was really learning those things on the business side, because I had the training side stuff down, but that business side, you know, it hit me hard. And I'm like, okay, got to slow down a little bit, because I'm real visionary. So I'll be like, I can see 2 years ahead in my business part. I'll be like, well, hold on. There's all kinds of operational things that you got to handle. So I realize it's like, I have the idea, I give it to my team. You know, they make sure that we're operationally sound versus just launching out with it, you know. And a great question I want to ask you is, I don't think people realize how intimate personal training is. And it's not just the person coming to the gym to train, but how it transforms their life. And, you know, I'm sure that you get to work with athletes and high-level entrepreneurs as well. And it helps them kind of find an identity outside of work. Can you explain that to me? Yeah,
absolutely. I have clients anywhere from competitive, high-level power lifters, world record holders, to your basic housewife, basic grandma who just wants to stay healthy for her grandkids. You know, and I definitely program all of them differently. But the satisfaction when, you know, I have a 70-year-old client who can run around with her 14 grandkids and keep up with them is absolutely amazing. You know, and the biggest thing though too with what I love is the mental change. And when you see that shift of people coming into a gym where they're like, ugh, my wife is making me do this, or ugh, I know I need to lose a few pounds. You know, and it becomes they don't want to come into the gym at first. You know, and you start working with the mental aspect of them and showing them the small wins. You know, not, hey, we're going to lose 30 pounds within 1 month. Are we? How about we learn to move better? How about you don't have knee pain when you bend over anymore? How about we don't have extreme back pain when you sneeze? Let's get you feeling better. And, you know, to be able to program those people in many different ways, but watch every single one of them continuously get stronger in the gym, no matter who they are, no matter what age they are, the transformation into their life is unbelievable. And it's funny because you come from a background, a lot of us who were athletes growing up most of the time. And so we really have always been on the workout side of the fence. A lot of us don't come from the unhealthy side of the fence. And so sometimes it's hard for me to even be like, oh yeah, cool, you're able to do this. But then you see their eyes and how much it really truly means to them, of how much you are changing their actual life, that I wouldn't give it back for the world. You know, I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
And I think that, you know, I'm sure you have clients that have been with you for a really long time. So it's amazing to see them support you, especially in a new venture. I find that they really want, or most of them really want to support you and be very generous in doing that, whether it's with their support, with their time, financially. You know, some clients have helped me in my business, and then they've donated things that I don't know how to thank them for. So the only thing I can do is I want to make sure that, I get this business where I know its potential is. That's my thank you to them.
Absolutely.
And then when I'm older and I'm able to do that for someone else, I absolutely want to pay that back and pay that forward.
Yeah, I had about 6 or 7 of my clients coming in doing demolition with me about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Taking sledgehammers and stuff, getting on their knees and taking out screws. And, they were just like, you tell us what you need, we're good. And not one of them wanted a payment. Not one of them wanted anything. And I was like, hey, I'll let me at least buy you guys dinner, And even to that point, they were like, nah, we're good. You don't need to do anything. Like, we just want to see you succeed. We love this, And so it's cool to see how much support from clients I have. And in a lot of ways, I mean, the way I got introduced to you, through one of my clients.
Yeah.
And she just wants to see me, same thing, succeed. So it's cool to have that absolute support. And, again, to me, it's when you truly change their lives and you get on a much deeper level, hence personal training, with your clients, and the client retention you'll have, and always making sure too that with your clients, the reason too client retention so challenging sometimes is clients hit a wall.
Yes.
Clients start getting bored. There's nothing new for them anymore. Programs don't change. They're coming into the gym doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it's like, hey, I'm not getting results anymore. So it's always a challenge too for me that with my clients that I want to make sure you're always getting a step ahead some way somehow. Whether it's an extra rep here, whether it's 5 pounds heavier, whatever that calls for, I always want to see them challenging themselves and slightly succeeding every single week, every single workout. That's why we keep track of everything they do.
Absolutely.
So, because it's not always a success sometimes to them, because they might look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, I still look the same. I feel the same. Like, what the heck? And I'm like, well, let's look at your numbers. A month ago, you couldn't pick up the bar, and now you're deadlifting 100 pounds. That's a success.
Yeah.
In time, the body will change. You can't be lifting more weights and not getting stronger. It doesn't work that way. So it's, with them too, it's like, hey, do I always need to see numbers on a scale changing? No. I want to see your numbers in the gym changing. And then everything else will change with that. Again, you can't shoulder press 30 pounds and then go up to 50 pounds and say, oh, I don't have much muscle anymore in my shoulders.
Absolutely.
No, it doesn't work that way. So again, if we're slightly increasing some way, somehow, whether it's, we did this weight for 10 reps before and now you're doing it for 12 reps, it's an increase. So I always want to show my clients those wins because, you get that dopamine effect.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And they love it. And they always want more. And they ask me, what's next? What are we doing today? Can I lift heavy today? I get clients coming in, hey, I feel great. Can I PR today? No, because it's not in your program.
Yeah.
You'll PR in 3 weeks when it actually calls for it, So, but yeah, it's fun seeing how excited they get in the gym. And behavioral change for me is such a key thing, which leads into their everyday life. And you could just see the confidence they have going into jobs. Wearing something that they never thought they would wear, wearing pants that fit them a little bit tighter, but in a great way. It shows their figure off a little bit more that they didn't want to wear that a year ago.
Yes.
So confidence for them is absolutely key. And just changing their everyday life is what I absolutely love to see done.
Yeah. And I think a big thing, like obviously, I'm big into doing blood work. I'm big into the recovery side, but at the end of the day, the most important part is people get their body moving and they put in the effort to change their health. Like it actually requires physical work. It's not something that can be paid for.
Right.
It's not something they can just lay down and do. So I think that although I love this biohacking world and I'm a big component in it, but I never get away from the actual, human movement, human performance. Like that's so integral. And I feel like there's no cheat code for that. You actually have to show up and do some work. And I find that really exciting when someone actually buys into that. I think it's so much more powerful about, I'm going to focus on this person losing 20 pounds in 3 months and just continue moving on to people. Or can you get this person to believe in what you're doing? Then they can believe in what they're doing and get a 10-year client out of them.
Absolutely.
And anytime I get a client or a patient out, I'm thinking, how can I keep this person for 10 years, and what do we need to do in these 10 years? And I think it's just about being consistent. I used to be like, we're going to train as hard as possible. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. But I'm like, hold on. Because there's a whole lot of life out there that'll come at you. So it's like, I think if we focus on their long-term structure,
100%.
And that's why I love how you change up their programming. That's why people stop doing something. They simply get bored.
Right.
There's too many ways to train to get bored.
Right. And that's the communication with clients. People don't ask their clients what they want. And that's one thing I've learned too in the corporate world, but even in the private world, they get so stuck in their ways as trainers, doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's like, does your client even want this? Are they getting the result out of this that they want? Do you communicate with your client? Like,
yes.
What is it you actually want out of this? What's your why? A client, maybe they want to do a Spartan race out of nowhere. Cool, let's get you ready for it.
Yes.
Your training is going to change a little bit. Cool, I got done with that. I want to squat 500 pounds. Let's do it. We got to get your body ready in a lot of different ways. It's not just only getting your legs strong, but it's getting everything else strong. And it's that constant communication. What do you want? I have a client who comes in, and he is your very stereotypical, reminds me of the old school Gold's Gym guy, who is never going to change his ways. And he just goes, I want to lift heavy. I've been told I need 2 shoulder replacements. I know I have a bad low back. And none of that is ever going to matter to him. He goes, I just want to feel heavy weights in my hands and move it to the best of my ability. And I need you to keep me safe doing it. And I'm like, at the end of the day, if that gets you in the gym, if that gets your dopamine level rising, if that makes you feel better, I'm good. Let's do it. I give him some stuff to do on his own. I try to get him to do some more mobility work and stuff that he could absolutely use, but he a lot of times won't do it. And he's so hard-headed in that way. And so to me, it's like, at least if I can have that hour with you where I can keep you safe, but still give you what you want, and you're happy with that and you love it and it makes you feel good, I'll do it.
Absolutely.
So that's the one thing I try to get to train is like, talk to your people. What do they want? And I think that's a lot of times how trainers lose a lot of clients.
Yeah.
And then the problem is too, a lot of trainers is they get mad at the client. What are you leaving me for? Instead of, hey, how about you look in the mirror and ask yourself, why is this client leaving me? What could I have done different? Have you ever communicated with that client that left you and just said, hey, was there something I could have done different? Is there a program change I could have done different? Or, were you just completely done with it? Was it a price quantity? Like what was it?
Yes.
Instead of don't be mad at the client. Don't be mad that the client went and changed trainers.
Yeah.
Because again, that to me is showing that something's off that I was doing, and they needed something new. And I would never be mad at a client for doing that. I would more look in the mirror and say, why did this client leave me? What could I have done better?
Yeah,
absolutely. And a lot of times people don't look at it that way.
Yeah, I have really open feedback with clients and members here. So it's great, but they're going to tell you when you do a great job, and they're going to tell you when you didn't do a good job. Mm-hmm. But it is so important for the growth of a business to be able to handle the constructive criticism that comes in.
Absolutely.
I actually want to hear that more than I want to hear that we're doing a great job, because it helps fix all the cracks that may be occurring.
Right.
Doing a whole bunch of different things like we're doing here, it gets real tough. It's tough to manage everything. We have clients that are doing physical therapy, they're doing their medical, they're doing personal training, they're in the recovery. So we have 4 to 5 team members working on them at the same time. But what happens when one of the team members forgets to communicate? It comes back on the head honcho. So just being able to have that feedback and have the clients really know that you can tell me if I suck, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I want that feedback so we can get better. We're actually going to send out a survey, a how we're doing survey, right? So, hey, it opens up Pandora's box. Great. I want to hear all the negative stuff.
Right.
Because I want to go and I want to fix that and kind of make the business better there.
I try to set that standard with my clients right from the start. When I first meet them, and it's anybody new, I am an over communicator myself, and I tell them like, hey, I'd rather you annoy me until you get an answer. So if I'm not giving you an answer, if I'm doing something off, like, let me know, communicate with me. If you're feeling something weird, let me know. If during a workout your knees aching, something like that, like you got to talk to me.
Yes.
And so it's set the standard from the start of I'm communicating with you. I need you to communicate with me. So then that way we could just keep this puppy rolling, because again, we're not perfect. I sometimes probably need a little bit of check back in sometimes with certain people and stuff. And, I try to remind myself when I walk in the gym every day, I tell myself, I go, here's what people are paying for training for me. Am I going to deliver this today?
Yes.
And I need to deliver this today. I'm not going to be goofing off. I don't want to go walking around talking to other trainers and stuff. Like, these people are paying good money for you to be right there telling them what to do and what not to do. And so that's one thing that I like to tell myself and remind myself, they're paying a good price point for me to train them and for me to get them to that next level. I need to be there on them 100% of the time.
Yes.
And again, it's just set the standards from the beginning. So nothing comes as a shocker, so that's a key thing that I'll always, put in, try to implement into trainers as well too. Just set the standard. That's the biggest thing.
Now, so right now you're still running your current business while opening up a new one.
It's fun.
Got it. Yeah. How are you dealing with time management and stress management?
What time management? No, I've actually, I'm doing decently well on that. My workouts, I'm going through a good solid 4-week deload phase for my workouts. I've changed them up.
Okay.
That way I'm not overstressing my CNS. But my workouts for me are my getaway, and they are my go-to. And so whether I am training clients, needing to do construction, whatever it is, there's a solid 2 hours out of the day where this is time for me.
Yes.
And so I've told people, who are just like, hey, well, we need to get this done. Hey, I need you. Like, I need to talk to you about this marketing thing. Cool. That can wait because this is my time.
Yeah.
And if I don't get this in, I'm going to be worse off talking to you. Yeah. I'm going to be an unhappy camper.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I'm absolutely guilty about giving up that time.
It's tough.
I did it again right now in this chunk of time, and I'm like, I knew it was an issue when I stopped wanting to show up to the gym to train because that's what I was passionate about. And
right.
I found myself actually falling out of passion for the business, for what I was doing, even in self-belief because I gave up that time that I was always passionate about.
Right.
It was funny. I was it's time to make some pre-workout. Then you got your gym bag. Well, I don't got my gym bag now. I only got because I lost my whole routine.
Yes.
And man, has it been a struggle to recollect that and to bring it back in because what happened was it stopped being fun. And
right.
that really sucked. And so recently I got that passion back and I'm like, okay, I can't lose the fact that this is really fun. Like I'm blessed to be able to do this for a living. You can wear whatever you want to wear. You can tattoo your head, but all that matters is your service to the people are so impeccable.
100%.
They don't care about anything. They don't care about the way you look. They actually don't care about the gym the way that it looks, although people think it's important. They just appreciate what you're doing for them so much because you're listening to them. You're tailoring things to them.
Yes.
I think especially like a lot of entrepreneurs, they are so used to people just coming in and wanting to take stuff for them. So when someone is actually listening to them and doing something one-on-one, where you're not trying to take something from them, I think that's so huge for them. I've always had, although I got a lot of pro athletes that I train, 40 to 65 years old has always been my bread and butter. Mm-hmm. I remember being at the gym and everyone's like, "What are you doing training those old people?" They have all the cocktail waitresses and stuff, and I'm like, "Trust me, you're gonna see the secret weapon."
Absolutely.
These people come 3 to 4 days a week, and their health is an actual priority for them
100%.
And a long-term commitment.
Yes.
So I don't care what you think about me,
right?
And I just kept doing that. I had pro athletes, and I had 40 to 65 year olds, and I just kept rolling with that. And it is the exact same today. And the fact is, all those people get to interact with one another. So, the pro athletes get to see these older clientele that are entrepreneurs, and they're sitting in the sauna together, and my client's giving this gentleman feedback that's on the Raiders on how to set up his finances properly, and he wants to buy a Rolex and a Lamborghini.
Right.
Well, hold on, man. But they don't know any better. Those athletes have no mentorship, and a lot of them come from rough areas, so they don't change their circle of people that they're around. And I guess for me is when I turned back, I had focused on the business so much, I had no circle left, right? Because you stop hanging out with friends. I had no time, and I'm like, damn, phone is quiet. It's just ringing when someone needs something from me.
Yeah.
Not because someone wants to do something for me. So lately, I've been back in the gym, making sure I'm working out, and then just spending a little bit more time actually having some fun, because I had no boundary of time. I gave up all of my time. And that's why I asked you that question. And I'm glad that you have that carved in, and it sounds like it's going to stay carved in, which is really important.
Yeah, I mean, I dropped down to only working out 4 days a week.
Yeah.
I was a consistent 5 to 6. And I should say, with that 5 to 6, it was 4 hard days, 2 days of blood flow work, recovery work, and that kind of stuff. But it was my mentality, like, I needed to get in the gym.
Yes.
It was hard for me to just sit at the house and not do anything. Even if it was just, let me go to the gym and do 30 minutes worth of core, some foam rolling, stretching, something like that. Like, I need to be in there.
Yes.
So now it's a solidified 4 days a week. I am not getting into any of my my powerlifting gear. So I'm just staying raw with all my workouts. I am staying in the 10 to 12 rep range. So I don't have to stress, I need to get into my bench shirt today. Okay, let me make sure I have spotters and loaders. Okay, let me make sure I have somebody to get me in my bencher, because that stress is going to put me over and above.
Yeah.
So now it's just like, we're going to stay raw benching. We're going to stay in the hypertrophy phase. So if I have to get in the gym today at 2 o'clock, I could do it. If I have to get in the gym today at 5 o'clock, I could do it. I don't have to worry about trying to line everybody up,
right,
to assist with my lifting. So I figured going through all this, I'm like, that's where I need to at least stay. But yeah, it's crazy how the time just gets away from you. And like my Mondays and Thursdays, for example, on Monday I trained from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. straight.
Yep.
My breaks were what breaks? I, had lunch with, the clients that I know I can have lunch with. I shoved the food down as quickly as possible. So my Mondays and Thursdays, what's nice about that though, and I dedicated those days to my longer days.
Yes.
That those are now my rest days. It forces me to actually have a rest day. So now I don't even have time to work out for myself.
I think any personal trainer that opens up their own gym, it's the same story. I was at the gym at 5 or 6 in the morning, and I stayed till 6 or 9 o'clock at night. And you just did that till you got so tired of doing that. They're like, I'm meant for a little bit more. I can achieve a little bit more, but it's great. You already have a couple of people, working underneath you. So what I'm real excited about is your new facility. So can you tell us a little bit about what's going to be in the new Chapter 1 Fitness?
So it's going to be 7,200 square feet. 5,000 square feet of that is going to be gym floor. I'm also going to have 1,000 square foot group studio. So whatever you want to rent out of that for the hour for a dance class, yoga, floor Pilates, a stretching class, a breathwork class. I'm open for anything being taught out there. Any trainers that want to do a small group training class out of there, by all means, we'll have some steppers, small dumbbells, and that kind of stuff in there as well too. We're going to have some offices. I have not 100% come to realize yet what I'm going to do with all those offices. I will have somebody in there for sure for now who's going to be doing body work, cupping, dry needling, scraping. So we'll be sending a lot of people to him. Thinking about possibly putting in a little bit of a wellness with a red light sauna and cold plunge. Haven't decided yet right away if I'm doing that from the start, but that is something I definitely want to lead into, because I know the benefits of this and how much it will benefit anybody in the gym to start taking care of their body, intracellular wise as well too.
Absolutely.
So definitely want to work with blood work, having people doing blood panels, what the heck's going on inside your body, women who are going premenopausal, for example. I can't lose the body fat no matter what I'm eating, no matter how hard I'm working at. Where are our hormones? What's our estrogen looking like? What's our testosterone looking like? Our estradiol, is there something going on inside that's not allowing you to drop this weight? So I want to be a good, solid one-stop shop for everything. How quickly I'm going to jump into that to have everything right away, I'm going to do my best. It's something I want to grow into. But I'm excited, I want to have a place where where a 60-year-old grandma can walk in and somebody who wants to squat 1,000 pounds can also walk in, or somebody who wants to do a bodybuilding show. I want it to be a comfortable place for everybody. I compete in powerlifting myself. I have a few clients who compete in powerlifting, and people have asked me like, oh, you're opening a powerlifting gym. No, I'm not doing that, because I'm not trying to be specific for just one thing. Can I train powerlifters out of the gym? Absolutely. I'll have the bars, we'll have the bands, we'll have chains. I'm going to have my monolift in there. So you name it, we'll have it for that.
Yeah,
for that
the great
realm
thing
of
is
things.
you got your own place to train, right? So you get all the stuff you want. I love the fact that you have that wide range of clientele, because where I think most gyms end up failing in the first year, and that's because they're not open to the concept of you may need to change the things that you're doing, or the things that I like doing. Right. That may not work in in certain environments, or just be open to have just a little integration of that. And so being able to have any type of client show up there and and move around and get strong, or you see a 70-year-old pushing a sled on the turf. I'm telling you, people love seeing that. Those are our more interactions that we get on Facebook as we post that. Actually, I love that. I'm like, I want to showcase that a lot more.
Yeah, and it's something you kind of hit on before. Athletes come and go, bodybuilders come and go, powerlifters come and go, because we do it for a sport. Health and wellness and longevity of life is always going to be there.
Absolutely.
So that's why, even though I train for powerlifting myself and I have some of those clients, the bread and butter of most of my clients are just longevity clients. Do they like to lift heavy weights? Absolutely. Do I have a couple guys who squat 500 pounds but never want to compete? Absolutely. Because they just want to be strong. Yes. They love to lift. They see how much it plays into their everyday life. But that's where the bread and butter is for most of these trainers. And I see a lot of trainers fail in their own personal business, and gyms fail because they go for one little niche. And, even though we're in the world with those athletes, it's not a very big world. The bodybuilding world seems big, but it's really not.
Yes.
Your bread and butter are your basic health and fitness. A grandma who wants to move better to pick up her grandkids. A mom who's, hey, I'm pregnant. I want to still be able to move, throughout my entire pregnancy and stuff. That's your bread and butter, is your everyday house person.
Yes.
So that's why I want a place where everybody's comfortable at being. But, if you want to squat 1,000 pounds, come on in.
How important is the culture going to be at your
huge
gym?
Absolutely huge. And that's, like we talked about before, it set the standard. So you set the standard for trainers, you set the standard for clients, and it's a lot of little things. Little things of like cleanliness, little things of respect. Kind of common sense things that I realize most people don't have in gyms anymore, especially the big box gyms. But the culture, I really want it to be a fun place. I want everybody to have a great time. I want people to learn. I want trainers to, I want a questionnaire board and have trainers who are running their business out of it say, I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to better my business. I want to learn how to program a little bit better. I want to be able to teach a deadlift better. What do I need to look for to break that down, kind of things. And, I want to hold at least once a month, open forum for the trainers. Like, you tell us what you want to learn, and let's all learn from each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I might have my buddy come in and talk about cupping and how what he does with cupping and dry needling will help your athletes. How breaking down a squat. Who wants to learn how to do that? We all squat in our everyday life. We get up in and out of a chair. Yes. We get in and out of a car. Basic functional movement patterns and stuff. So it's a place I want trainers to learn, and I want to better their business. The better and happier they are, the happier we all are.
Absolutely.
And I just want trainers to feel comfortable at the sense too that they can come and ask me too, hey, later in life, I want to open my own gym. What do I need to do? Dude, absolutely good for you. I will help you do that.
And a lot of people will be like, oh, why would you want to help someone do that? Or what? I can promise you that person that's on the track of doing that is going to be the best person to have in your gym for as long as they stay there, because they're going to have an energy about them that no one else has.
For sure.
And then if you know, if they want to, it's like, you know, bless them to go and do their own thing. I think they're too worried about like, oh, what if they take my ideas? Like, well, the more people that do health and wellness, the bigger that the industry, you know, becomes.
For sure.
It is really set on track to be one of the top grossing industries in the world. I think health and wellness is set to triple in the next 4 years, which is incredible. We're really seeing the big pharma get squashed a little bit while health and wellness starts to come up, and most importantly, people are understand they need to spend a little bit of time and money on their body.
Right.
You know, they don't need 16 pairs of shoes and 10 cars.
Yeah.
They're looking to take care of their body. And if they got 16 pairs of shoes and 10 cars and didn't take care of their body, again, it's not because of money. It's because of a lack of self-discipline and effort that they're willing to put into themselves. And I think that the more that we can educate the public on what it's like to take care of themselves, a lot of the times, you know, I'll do consultations with patients and members, and I realize, okay, this person's not ready to start a program. How are we going to get them motivated? We're going to get their blood work done. Because when that paper opens up and they see what's going on inside, it sure changes their look on the outside. Ooh, I better start doing something. You know, and it's not a fear tactic. You're just showcasing them, hey, these are potential health risks that
here's reality.
When you ignore them, or if you feel like they don't have a symptom now, they're going to come back, and you never want to be like, damn, I should have took care of myself 4 to 5 years ago. You know, I unfortunately put my own health off for many years as I was working 120 hours a week and just feeling like I needed to put the whole world on my back to be the best, because I feel like no one believed in me. So my quest to be the best actually would just completely torch everything around me. You know, I would just always fearful that I wasn't good enough, so I would tell myself, you're not good enough, you need to be the best, and just absolutely go in a straight line and not care about anything that will be around. And lately I've said, okay, well, you don't need to be the best. That's not what this is all about. And it's okay not to be good at something. And so I want to use those principles, you know, moving into the next chapter in my life, where I don't get consumed when I feel like things don't, you know, work out. I mean, you know,
for sure,
being calm, having your practice, not giving up time to go, you know, to the gym, you know, and most importantly for me is finding a hobby. You know, someone asked me, what do you like doing? I couldn't answer them. Because I never let myself do anything that wasn't geared towards not even work, just getting better. And although that's a great attribute, it could certainly be a really opposing attribute if you use it all the time without being able to turn it off. Right.
Well, and it's funny because it's like, you know, going back to what you said before about, you know, another person opening up a gym, for example, and, they're going to steal my ideas. You know, our world right now, in the training world, it's growing so much with the other side of things besides just weightlifting, with like, you know, what you guys provide here, was seeing really what's going on with the blood work and stuff like that for preventative stuff.
Yes.
You know, but besides that, when it comes to the weightlifting and stuff, you know, there's no reinventing the wheel. You know, you're not stealing my ideas. There's really cool new equipment that's out there. You know, there's the equipment that you guys have, you know, with the pressurized air and stuff. Absolutely. So really cool new equipment, but it's still not reinventing the squat.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's like, you know, okay, great, you got some different equipment than me, or you stole my idea. Good. To me, that's a compliment if you're taking some of my ideas, and I only want to see that person grow and get better too. You know, so it's funny how people have those mindsets sometimes of, you know, it's almost like they want to hold you back a little bit because they're scared of you, you know, either going above and beyond them or something like that, you know, and it's like, no, like, you know, again, you should want that for people who are under you, or want that for people going up, you know, and especially with the way our world and our country is these days of how absolutely unhealthy it is. You know, it's fun to see this industry finally starting to grow, you know, and use this industry for preventative natures of, you know, cancer, or possibly any other you know, disease that might happen with heart disease and all that kind of stuff. You know, because these days you see on TV promoting just being obese.
Absolutely.
And you walk into a Target and you see models and stuff that are morbidly obese, and I'm all for loving your body. By all means, love yourself, but don't promote that it's healthy. It's not, and that's why I love that this industry is starting to grow. And I really do hope that it starts to grow in the way of like realizing you don't need all this medicine. Right now, you go to a medical doctor and medical doctors provide medicine, and it's, oh, you have this going on. Oh, you got diabetes going on. Here's insulin. And then, their response is, hey, make sure to work out and eat healthy. What does that mean? But again, people have that idea. Well, you're a medical doctor. He must know the best. You don't have your MD. So what do you know, kind of thing. And I would say, well, what does your medical doctor look like? Is he morbidly obese as well too, coming to give you that? Is that nurse morbidly obese coming to help you out with your blood pressure, where her blood pressure is probably just as high, if not worse? And it's like, and this is the way our country's kind of gone. I'm just like, why are we so unhealthy? We could go down the road, the list with all the kind of foods and stuff. But at the end of the day, I just love that this industry is starting to grow. And again, with like what you guys provide to be able to really see the blood work side of things and preventative nature kind of things, it's let's start to go this route. So then that way you don't have to be on thousands of dollars worth of medication, taking 10 pills in the morning, 10 pills at night. Let's start to get you off of half that stuff. If we just get your body moving right, feeling right, and on the right positive supplementation to bring down certain risks.
Absolutely. I think, on the medical side, and, there's so many, hormone and wellness clinics out there. Like, they'll do a super basic blood panel. Then they're putting you on hormones, and they're not even doing a deep dive into why all of your biometrics are even a problem to begin with.
Right.
So then, even though I would consider that wellness and not all the way medical, they've now steered this person into another track where they're still getting a bunch of, those are medications, peptides, hormones, all medications, but without doing the deep dive into what does that person actually need.
Right.
So they're just trying to get those reoccurring subscriptions for hormone replacement therapy. If they got a whole bunch of peptides that they're putting them on, I want the person and the client to spend the big money on the blood work and the DNA test and the methylation test.
Right.
Because that's the most important. Once we have those things, then we really do know what's going on with them.
Right.
And that person can create a proper budget because they know these things are detrimental to your body. Maybe they have some genetic variants that aren't going to change, so now their whole lifestyle needs to change.
Right.
And for them, they now can say, okay, I need to budget this into my lifestyle a little bit and actually make a long-term plan for them.
Right.
Sometimes it's not, we think so much, let me enhance them first. No, let's take a step back and figure out what the hell is going on. Because as you're pushing one thing so far, you got health markers going the other way as well.
Right.
And now basically you are creating some sort of sickness in that person's body as well. And before they know it, they'll end up inside of here. Hey, I've been seeing 3 or 4 different people. They've got me on all different things. They're changing my prescription. They're changing my dosage of progesterone and testosterone and estrogen. And now I don't know what the hell my body is doing.
And now that person's so confused.
And I get really angry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we need to take the deep dive. But then I also get them as I'm now the last stop. So they already have a bitter taste of anything that I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And that's why before I recommend anything, I'm like, we're going to absolutely do a full diagnostic on you. This is where your money should be spent. And only then can, my physiology team and my physician team actually provide you with what the hell is going on in your body. And if you can't figure it out, I've got a huge network of places where we can send people. We can send them to, in Arizona, they can go to Pernuvo, get a full cancer scan, on their body, or a bunch of other different tests that, they do in different states. But again, it's only what the client needs. It's not what I want.
Right.
And, you brought up with the money. It's like everything costs money, but don't be afraid. Money will always come in if your business is doing the right things.
Right.
It's not about getting rich, but you'll definitely be rich if you give people the right results. It's just going to happen.
Right.
However successful you want to be, as long as you're doing good, it definitely is going to come back on you.
Yeah, I mean, people who are really, really, truly interested in changing their life, and I always say, if you're going to invest in something as a person, invest in yourself.
Yes.
People, I have this boat, I have this car, I have this, I have that. Great. How long are you going to live? if you're going to invest in your health. Do you want to see your grandkids grow up? Do you want to be around for your grandkids? So with that, and then when they finally do get in, it's changing their mindset to continue with it. You get that person, I want to lose 10 pounds. And then so many times I've seen that I lost the 10 pounds and trainers are like, cool, congrats. See you later.
Yep.
What? What do you mean? I mean, are they really going to not keep that 10 pounds off now? Do they know what to do with their workouts and their health and their nutrition? No. Then they come back in, hey, I put the 10 pounds on again. Okay, let's get you to lose that 10 pounds. Like, no, let's change the way of your life. Let's change habits and behaviors in your everyday lifestyle. And the fun thing with behavioral change is seeing them actually truly do it by themselves with however they want to show you how they're tracking it. Because I have one client, she's 5 days a week with me. She's the most consistent one I have.
Yeah, she writes everything down, right?
And she is 70 years old, and she will run circles.
Damn, see, I
circles
love that.
around everybody. And she puts her health first. And granted, 5 days a week, can most of my clients afford 5 days a week? Not necessarily. But let's set you up easily, even if you're not 5 days a week, we'll set you up with a program.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll make it work. But even at 5 days a week, that's only 5 hours out of the week you are with me that I know what you're doing. What are you putting in on your own? What are you doing on your own? And it's setting those standards and it's getting them to change their mindsets, in the gym that display into their everyday life of wanting to be this, wanting to change their habits and behaviors. And so, it's just cool to see when that does start to come to fruition. And when that does happen, like you said, for trainers, the money comes because those people trust you and they see that you're consistently changing their life and consistently making them stronger and they feel great, and that's what I love about this. And so I always say, invest too as a trainer in your current clients. A lot of trainers are like, I need to go get more people here. I need to go get more people there. What about the people you currently have?
Yes.
Invest in them because those people will invest back in you. And then, I always say as an entrepreneur, right, the time and effort you put in is here. The return is this. You start to get in this business, those people to invest into you starts to become this.
Absolutely.
Starts to become this, And then like me and you who try to go open up more stuff, then we do this again. But
it's funny. I have 3 new hyperbaric chambers coming, and even though it is proposed, yes, for having more members, it was absolutely to show the members that have been with us from day one the reinvestment that we make into our business.
Right.
People are like, you're crazy for doing that. No, I'm not. Because you know why? That's the expectation I set for myself, and they already know that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to over exceed that expectation, and everything will work out because these people are always going to know that they're in a place where things constantly evolve.
Yep.
I'm always looking for an improvement to be made in some things, and I'm not afraid to spend the money on those improvements because they've never let me down. I remember, we opened up this big location during the pandemic, and my accountant said, you can only spend $300,000 of equipment. And that was like one order. I think that was my order of Kaiser equipment. And I was like, I said, I'm sorry, but my belief in myself is stronger than what you're telling me on the budget. And we ended up spending a couple $1 million on equipment. And mind you, it has to sit there like, oh man, I hope this thing is going to work out because you laid everything out on the table.
Right.
And although that may fail sometimes, in this case, it was a huge home run. People saw that, damn, you just opened up so strong out of the gate.
Right.
But I think there's only a few times in life when you can actually do that, where
Yep.
you can put it all in. I was 30 years old at the time, so I could take a whack if I needed to start over again. If you're 50 years old and doing that, I'm never going to recommend that. And in fact, now I'm always super hesitant when someone says, I want to do what you're doing or I want to open up a new business, because the one thing I'm going to ask them is, what does it cost to be an entrepreneur? And
Right.
I'm not talking about money. And they kind of puzzle, like, it costs you a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
It can cost you your own personal freedom. It can cost you all your money. It can cost you your relationship, your marriage, your friends, your things that you like to do. You almost have to give all of them up if you're willing to chase after your dream.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can have much more control over that, which, now that I went through it, I'm like, damn, I could have done that and that. But this, you wouldn't be at the point where you're at. So it's almost like it's a give or take type of thing. But now when I mentor people, I'm like, okay, just go a little bit at a time, perfect the foundation, then add, then perfect the foundation, then add. Because if you just launch that cannonball so damn far, although that can work too, it's just that one has much more of a cost. You don't know where that thing is landing, and it's going to cause an earthquake around.
Yeah.
And it's just something that I've been thinking about over the last 6 months of what is the cost to be an entrepreneur, and it costs a whole lot.
It does, and it's funny because, like you said, if I'm going to bet on something, though, I'm going to bet on me.
Absolutely.
And if I've met trainers who are wanting to start their own business and stuff, and just having that conversation with them, they're not ready. Because you have a lot of self-doubt. You have a lot of what are you worth? And when you question your worth, I'm like, in my opinion, you're not ready yet.
Yeah, because you have to be prepared for someone. They're gonna just annihilate you. Your idea is stupid. You're charging too much money. This product sucks, and you're gonna hear that probably 80% and 20% be like, "Hey, man, you're doing a good job." And so you just have to really have that thick skin to weather the storm of. That's all you're gonna hear. It's gonna be all over you, but you got to focus in and be like, I'm focused on one thing and is doing what I'm doing at an excellent value, and just focus and continue to do that.
Yeah, and it's funny when with the time invested, when I got my location, I said to my girlfriend, I was like, I apologize now for the stress I'm about to have for at least the next year until we're truly up and rolling, and at least I know month to month money flow is now on a positive network. I was like, I'm just letting you know, I apologize now, and the great thing though is you also have to have the support around you.
Yes.
And my girlfriend's like, she is absolutely betting on me too. My parents are absolutely betting on me. It's great support that I have around me from family, friends, clients. I have nobody who's like, what are you doing that for? That's dumb. You're going to fail. Because to me, if that person's in my life, I'm good with toxicity. Get out.
Yeah.
I don't want that around me anyways. And so having that positive support, and especially that even goes into clients, having that husband or wife or significant other that supports you in your fitness journey, it's huge. And not having that support, it just stresses you out that much more. Maybe it might cause some self-doubt or something like that. And there are times I've come home and I've said to my girlfriend, I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, should I do this? Am I ready for this? And she'll look and be like, yeah. You're good. You got this. You're going to do this.
I ask myself that every day. And and our business is expanding. So now I'm asking myself every hour, I'll get out of this room and be like, it's been 3 hours. I'm like, fuck, am I taking on too much? I must be crazy because I hate it and I love it. And I hate it and I love it. And I hate it and I love it. But it's but what else would I do? I'm trying to think, what other life would I have besides a life of creation? Because it's certainly not about money. For 10 years I've been around every type of exotic car, every huge home and clothes and cars and watches, where I'm numb to it. I don't even care about that. So what I care about is, at the end of the day, laying down the foundation of a dream that you set, where other people can also live their dream inside of that big dream, and being able to have the support for that, being able to do things that people around you want to do, and provide a platform for them as well. That's what's really important to me. And I think a lot of that is not even Project Wellbeing. It's not even business. It's just the projection of where we got to go from Project Wellbeing, the people that we were able to meet, and then the connections that are made. Because really, it's you're just one degree of separation from people that can really help you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I love about this business too is you meet, like you said, you meet so many different people, and what's cool about it is, my clients become some of my best friends.
Yes.
And I have clients who are in the car business. I have clients who are in construction. I have clients who are in this. I have clients who who run, top tier kind of things. And so it's always cool. It's great to have those kinds of connections, but I just love to meeting a new person. I'm like, what do you do for work?
Yes.
What's going on with your work? Because you meet so many different things, and every now and then you'll get somebody who does the most like, hey, I had a guy back when I worked at Lifetime who was an exotic animal veterinarian. And I was just like, this is going to be a fun hour. I'm like, all right, in between sets. So what's the strangest animal you've worked on?
Yeah.
And it's just fun meeting those types of people.
And it's like, how did that, the person that set up all of our auction for the hyperbaric chambers, the son is an ocular surgeon on marine animals, like a whale for the eye, which is insane. I'm like, wow. That's got to be like 1 out of 2.
Right.
Surgeons. And I was like, how the hell did you? And I said, the daughter is a doctor, and then the owner, he set up chambers at NASA, and he's big
That's
engineering
incredible.
guy,
Yeah.
and he's 80 years old. And I'm like, damn, this son, like you got a whole family of intelligence going on there.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see different people's professions.
Yeah, and what's funny is I've learned that the people who work with numbers every day, and my clients will know exactly who I'm talking about, are some of the dumbest when it comes to counting numbers in a gym and loading on plates. I laugh so hard about it. I'll be like, hey, we got 345 on there today.
Yeah.
And it's like, but their everyday life, it's like finances, numbers, they can run percentages in their heads and stuff. And, this is, what's, 10% of that, whatever. And, but then when it comes to gym math, they're just right over their head, But it's fun, one of my coolest clients and talk about, learning about somebody is I have one of my 83-year-old clients, and she actually still competes in powerlifting.
That's amazing.
And she competed at the national level this past year out here in Vegas. But I just love talking to her. I'm like, what stories do you have? You're 83 years old, and it's like, I want to learn from you too. Especially from your past, the stuff that you've been through and stuff. You're literally born in 1940. Right before D-Day, like to live through that and the experiences you've had, it's so cool. The stuff that you learn from clients,
absolutely,
and just the life experience that they have. That I'm like, hey, I'm open ears. I am very willing to learn. And you were kind of mentioning it before, how you want to be the best, be the best, be the best. But at the end of the day, like, we're always learning.
Yes.
I don't know everything about the fitness world. I don't know everything about, hyperbaric chambers and stuff. Do I want to learn about this kind of stuff? Absolutely. But I am always open and willing to learn, because if you're closed off and you're like, I know everything there is about training, I know everything there is about blood work, you ain't going to be very successful, in a long run in this business. And it's like, that's why I love meeting people in this industry who know more than me, especially in different areas. Because I'm like, I am all open ears. I am good saying, I don't know this, but I want to learn about it.
Yeah. Interesting thing is 3 of my long-term clients are actually my 3 advisory board members on the business. And boy, are they not afraid to tell me what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. And I love it, but I get annihilated sometimes. We're like, why did you make that decision? Why did you spend that money? What are your plans? What's the SWOT analysis? I'm like, okay. And I really appreciate that. It's almost like it took me and put me down at the ground floor again. And I really like the challenge, because although just because you own a business doesn't mean that you're a good businessman. I didn't go to school for business. And if you went to school for business, I'm going to tell you, when you own the business, it is nothing like going to school for business. And trust me, I love school, but you ain't learning shit in school about being an entrepreneur. That is all outside.
Absolutely.
And then, where you learn that is from your clients that are older, that are going to tell you what happens legally, what happens financially, what happens when you fail, what happens when you need help, and they're going to let you know. And I think that's the most interesting part of the journey is the knowledge. It's never, you can never know enough.
Yeah, no, you really can't. And it's funny. One of my clients who's been helping me with the whole business side of thing, on the finance side of it, he's one of my guys. I'm like, I trust him with everything. I mean, the guy probably has my social security number, because I trust him so well enough with finance wise. And I always tell him, we'll laugh about it. I was like, going into this whole thing, like I have the vision. I see exactly what I want. I am basically the meathead of this. But when it comes to the number side of things, I'm like, I want this. Can we get this?
Yeah.
No, maybe not right now. But it's cool,
I feel that every day.
And so,
I feel that every day.
But at the same time, I am always, as an entrepreneur, willing to have people around me, though, to keep me in check with those things. Because again, I don't know everything. I didn't go to school for business. I went to school for criminal justice. But just because I went to school for criminal justice doesn't mean I could be a cop. So like you said, it's the experiences that you learn. And going back to like trainers, for example, they come out of school, kinesiology major, sports science, I just got, my NASM certification and I know how to train. And then they get into the gym and they realize, wow, not every single client responds to this 8-week block the exact same way. Nope.
Yeah.
It becomes very particular, so you might get the knowledge, you might get a little bit of a foundation, but doesn't always work that way. So it's like, I will take somebody in this training world with 15 years experience that never got a certification in their life, but they've been in this world for a long time, over somebody who's got 10 certifications and went to college, but has never trained before.
Absolutely.
Because the experience, like you said, it's everything. And so I'm trying to take in as much as I can, starting to learn the business side of things, because I want to know what's going on. Am I going to know it 100%? And do I expect to be the expert on it? Probably not. But I want to be well enough to know that I'm making smart decisions with it, to know that I'm not doing something dumb with my money, and that it's something that, in the long run will also be successful.
Absolutely.
I don't want to go off and get something or jump into something just because I like it. I try to have the vision. Does everybody else who's going to be around me, are they going to like it? We were laughing. I had this conversation with my girlfriend, who she's just as much of a meathead as me. She's going to hate me for calling her out on this, but we're walking around the gym the other day, and she was just like, oh man, I want this here, and this is going to look great here, and we need this and we need that. And I said, hey, time out. Yes, this is going to be a playground for us. I go, but this gym's not for us. It is, but it's not. You got to think, just because you're a competitive powerlifter, not everybody else around us is.
Yes.
What do all these other people want? What's going to be successful for all these other trainers? What's going to be successful for all these other, clients and stuff? And, and I'm also the guy that's willing to hear trainers out of like, hey, if you need something, let me know. If getting hurdles that I didn't realize I didn't have is going to help your business, absolutely, I'll go buy those for you. Would I use hurdles right that second for me? No, not necessarily. So I was laughing about it with my girlfriend. I was like, hey, get out of the vision of we're creating just a playground for you, and realize we're creating a playground for everybody.
Yes.
And we want everybody to be successful and stuff. And so, yeah, whatever type of training, people want to do, whether it's athletic training, basic health and fitness, bodybuilding, I want something that's for everybody, and I want to grow and learn more of the different worlds of training too.
Absolutely.
And that's where I'm like, hey, if you see something that will be beneficial for you in this gym, let me know. I'm absolutely willing to invest to make it better for everybody else too.
Yes.
I want whatever can help your guys' personal business. That's what I'm here for as well too.
Yeah, it's interesting. Talking gym design. I worked with an associate, Heather. She's awesome. I actually met her when I was in college at UNLV. She designs all the gyms, the flooring, everything. So it was really nice working with her and putting it all together. And, we needed to design the gym for doing NFL off-season training, training MMA, boxing, also having a full gym, normal gym membership, right? Like we need all the normal gym memberships up. The funny thing is, the thing that costs the most money, the 8-Tree Life Fitness thing, they're like 40, 50 grand, but you got to have one of those, right? So it was really working through the whole gym, and I'm a huge fan of Kaiser. They use pneumatic air, but I also love working out hard myself. So I'm like, I want all the weight plate equipment. I like doing that. Now I'm getting a little older, so I'm like, oh, hold on, you can't do that forever. It's like, and you also got to warm up. You can't just go out there.
Right.
And, I don't do that with anyone else. Why are you not following your own rule? But yeah, putting that all together in the gym was actually quite difficult. And of course, after you finish it, you're like, oh damn, that should have did this, or I didn't need this. Now I watch it, but I got like 10 pieces of equipment that doesn't get touched out there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, that was a miss, and I want 10 pieces more that are there. So I was like, well, we got to get rid of 10 of those first. So
Right.
Those.
Yeah, and I have that expectation that I'm going to go in there and I'm going to be like, the whole gym's going to be set, ready to go. I'm going to train out of it for a month and be like, yeah, the flow of this doesn't work. This should be over here. This should be over here. Oh crap, I forgot this piece of equipment. Like I expect that I'm probably going to, there's going to be so many things that like, oh, forgot this. Oh, forgot that.
Yeah.
Oh, forgot bar pads, and then, and again, it's just building it to where it's like, hey, like you said, what pieces of equipment will most people find beneficial, or what stuff is way too selectorized for a specific type of only person. Now, I have a monolift in my garage. I expect nobody's probably going to touch that monolift except me or my powerlifters who actually know how to use a monolift.
Yes.
Because an everyday person doesn't need a monolift to, squat out of.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's about, something a little specific that I'll have in there for my playground for me. But yeah, that's funny. It'll be interesting to hear what pieces of equipment you tell me, because I'll be like, oh, noted. Good to know. Good to know.
Well, James, it was so great to have you on this episode of the 1% Club podcast.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me.
I'm so excited for you to open up your new gym. I think it's going to be an amazing venture, and I want to support you in any way possible.
Thank you.
Anyone in the surrounding states, I'll make sure I send them over to you for sure.
Awesome. I appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.